Did I call you guys Aroma? Whatever. Aromie's here. Anyway, here we are. I'm a little frazzled. Because I just don't understand. I don't understand where this is going. I'm confused on how she just suddenly fell in love with Cass. I just don't get it. Thinking back to when Vincent showed me one of his special blows, I try to visualize it in my mind and then do it. Picking a stick up off the ground, I try to imitate Vincent's movement as closely as I can remember. But despite putting everything I have into my swing, not a single leaf falls from the unfortunate plant. After several unsuccessful attempts, I fly into a wild rage and begin whacking everything I can as I scream out in frustration. Once I've exhausted myself, I'll plop down on the grass again and try to figure out what to do next. All I know is I'll be with Vincent. It doesn't matter if he's constantly irritated and rude and endlessly sarcastic. No matter what happens, I'll be with him. And not just because I want to. This is the first time someone has ever needed me. So I'll be there for him, even if all I need to do is sit there and hold his hand. Hey! Bassie told me you would be here. Hi, Erica. This is a new outfit. Erica calls out and I shudder when I look up at her. Wearing a few bandages, she isn't moving as lithely as usual. She's acting much less flirty. Hey, don't look at me like that. This isn't unusual for me. I'm extremely clumsy and get hurt a lot. I'll be all healed up in a couple of days. Sitting down next to me, she places her hand on my arm. I'm sorry that I look like this. Seeing Vincent all beat up is bad enough as it is. How about a little fun? Maybe I can lay my head on your lap. I agree here, apparently. Something in Erica's eyes has me agree. She rests her head on my lap and as I gently run my fingers through her silky hair, I accidentally brush her cheek. She's crying. Erica is crying and I don't know how to comfort her without bruising her proud ego. Something bad is happening. She jumps to her feet with eyes sore and swollen. I need to get you out of here. I'm begging you. Let me save you. She looks so broken. What's going on that has her acting like this? I'm getting scared. I can't leave Vincent or Cass. She lays her head back on my lap and I continue to stroke her hair. After a few moments, she gets up again and attempts to smile. Alright then, I'll stay. No matter what my instincts are telling me, I just hope it's nerves. Kissing me gently on the forehead, she leaves. What if this is the beginning of the end? A terrible voice inside of me echoes the words, my voice. I'm even more devastated after Erica's visit and decide to head back to my room. I don't have the strength to fight my vile soul right now. But my relaxation is short-lived. I get a text from Vincent. Can I come over? Yes, of course. My heart begins to race. The message is so unexpected that it dashes all of my plans to bear my own desires. I leave my room to find Cass waiting in the corridor for me. Do they share their phone or something? Cass is the last person I want to see right now. He suddenly gives me a sad yet oddly familiar grin, then hands me a small but elegant dagger and a bunch of chamomiles. Then leaves me with the weapon, the flowers, and a new enigma. For a moment there, I thought Cass was coming to visit. I head back to my room while gently stroking the dagger, and as I put the flowers into a vase, I ponder over the meaning of these gifts. Doesn't chamomile represent innocence? So then is Cass actually courting me? Once I'm on my bed, I lay the dagger down and try to figure out why he gave it to me. When I place my hand on its hilt, I feel a familiar, pleasant sensation, and then it dawns on me. Vincent? Eh? There's a familiar puff of smoke, and the next thing I know, I'm holding Vincent's hand. He's laying next to me, still bandaged as before. So he was that tiny little dagger. Oh. There's a familiar puff of smoke. Okay, yes? I'm glad you're here, is the choice. Yeah. I'm happy to see you. Honestly, I wish you couldn't see me. We'll both lay here quietly while holding each other's hand. This is my first time in your room. Yeah, you were tossed in here like a Trojan horse. It's easier getting around that way. When you're weaker, do you, get smaller as a weapon? Yeah. Can you turn the light off? Seeing me like this is embarrassing, especially since I can barely see you. Are you planning on staying? Yeah, unless you're afraid of me. No. Turning off the light, I wait a moment to slip into my nightgown. Even though it's dark, I really hope Vincent was telling the truth about not being able to see well. Although maybe I actually hoped he saw me. Despite it being cool in here, I feel scorching hot. Try my best not to disturb Vincent. I carefully get into bed, cover us with a blanket, then sigh. He's close enough to touch and I'm nearly naked, and we're finally alone together without Cass. Damn it, why did I change with him right here? What? Would I have done the same if he wasn't injured? Probably. I try to pull myself together. I wonder if there's a term for being attracted to melee weapons. Had your fill of teratophilia. What's that? Look it up when you have some time. No, I'm good. I am good. I'm not looking up anything. When I'm all healed, you can swing me around if you'd like. The offer, despite sounding insane, is incredibly tempting. I wonder what it would feel like to take hold of his handle. Will I feel his power? Oh my god, I can't believe my mind just went there. Thankfully, Vincent's words interrupt my vulgar thoughts, preventing me from sinking even further. I only survived because of you, you know? What? I was never afraid of death before. I'd always been ready for it, but at that moment, when I was on the cusp of oblivion, I knew I couldn't leave you. I freeze. Maybe that's your power. With you here, I have achieved the impossible. And now I'm recovering more quickly, too. Vincent pulls his hand away. I didn't expect to experience anything but war in my life. Oh, no. I hear a slight rustle, and I would never have believed that having something to lose would make me stronger. Now remember my face full. Oh, we get a kiss! But I can't feel happy. I cannot feel happy with the choices I see right here in my face. I picture his face in my mind. Oh my god, wait, his hair is short. Aww. Then feel a light brush against my lip and its lips, and it's weak and fleeting yet insanely tender. Just as quickly as it happens, it has already ended, and all I'm left with is the sweet fragrance of blueberry yogurt. There is a long pause. Vincent loves me. He loves me? Vincent loves me. The words makes my heart throb. Now go to sleep. And yes, it will be 100 years before that happens again. Well, I don't think so, bud. I think we're all gonna die, so it doesn't matter. I can barely hear Vincent's grumbling over the rustling of the blanket he's wrapping around himself. Trying to calm myself down a little, I slowly breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. More than anything, I want him to keep going, but I'm not even sure what that would entail. Vincent is quiet now. Laying still, I listen closely, but my tormentor has either fallen asleep or is pretending to. But how can I sleep like this? How can I dream peacefully while also worrying that Vincent might forget about waiting that 100 years and continue his assault? I'm so excited that I reach out to him, but instead of Vincent's warm body, I feel the cool metal of the dagger beneath my fingertips. Damn, he turned himself into the dagger? Did I miss his transformation while my eyes were closed? Apparently, that kiss was so embarrassing that he'd rather be a dagger right now. But if Cass went as far as placing him in my own hands, then maybe I can touch him. Can I? I run my hands over its smooth handle. Why does touching it feel so good? Noticing no resistance, I draw the blade towards me, and after a moment's thought, press it to my chest. Its cold scabbard feels so good against my hot skin. It calms my racing heart. I wonder, can Vincent feel anything when he's a sword? If only he could hear my heart beating. The thought calms me enough to finally fall asleep. When I wake again, Vincent is gone. It must have been a dream. Would he really have said so many nice things to me? Would he have kissed me? Then I see the dagger nestled in my sheets and my heart settles. I'm sure this is a hint that I need to take him back. I gently grab its hilt. You're beautiful. Without realizing, I kiss the elegant scabbard. Is it me or does it feel bigger and heavier than it did yesterday? When I leave my room, I find Cass waiting outside the door. I'm feeling much better today. We can train. What about our run? It's 8 in the morning. I sigh. Since Vincent isn't fully strength yet, it'll be easier for you to hold him. Won't I hurt him? No. Excited, I eagerly follow Cass to the training ground. He then picks up a stick and begins showing me different techniques. I deliberately try to repeat him while feeling incredibly thrilled at wielding Vincent in my hands. It worked. It was weak, but it worked. I turn to see a mark on a nearby tree. It's just a scratch. A regular Kwanzaa couldn't even do that much. It's progress. Congratulations. We train a little more, although I wouldn't exactly call it training. I just waved Vincent around while listening to Cass's instruction. As far as I can tell, Vincent had no other ideas on how to awaken my Janine abilities, but if he did, they probably weren't suitable for my well-being. Let's go. Cass's voice is subdued, and for some reason it makes me feel sad. He reaches out to take the dagger from me, but I pull away and shake my head. I want to wield Vincent. The dagger's scabbard materializes, and I take it as a sign of approval. Not quite sure what I'm doing, I press my lips into the scabbard's cold leather, and Cass, who is witnessing my peculiar fondness for melee weapons, raises a brow. Blushing red, I hurry to the boys' apartment and place a dagger on the sofa. I'm sure Vincent needs to rest after that grueling training session. Just barely able to restrain myself from caressing it again, I gently cover the dagger with a blanket. My heart has been demanding more and more acts of tenderness, and it's easier to perform them on an inanimate object than the violent and unpredictable man that is Vincent, especially with him so severely injured. It isn't until I've tucked the dagger in that I realize how ridiculous I must look, although I'm sure Cass understands, but isn't he already aware of my feelings for Vincent? Vincent materializes beneath the blanket and lies curled up in a ball, back facing me. Feeling my embarrassment rising, I head into the kitchen where I find Cass debating over what to eat. He looks at me and I feel like I need to say something. But then his phone rings and he answers it. It finally dawns on me that Vincent and Cass share a phone. Although maybe they both have the same model, but I'm pretty sure that was Vincent's ringtone. Then a wave of anxiety sweeps over me. Did he read all the messages I sent to Vincent? Did Cass see all the photos I sent too? Photos meant for Vincent's eyes only. What did you send him? I then realized with absolute certainty that I'll never be as close to Vincent as he is to Castle. And are they really such close friends, or maybe they're more than that? As I ruminate over their relationship, Cass finishes his conversation and hangs up. He looks pretty grim right now. Aine is sending us on a mission. Wait a minute! Vincent can't go. Not in his current condition. How can Aine do this to him? Since we started training the meter room again, he figured it was alright. But he can't. An order's an order. I wouldn't have given it unless he had to. Suddenly, Erica's ominous words come to mind. She mentioned that something bad had happened. I won't let you leave. Cass suddenly holds his arms out to me as if asking for a hug, but when I pull away, surprise flashes through his eyes. Come with us. I can't. It doesn't matter anyway, because you're not going anywhere. We can't ignore Aine's orders. Cass glares at me with a sharp beast-like eyes. I feel rage surge inside of me with every heavy, thundering beat of my heart. Not knowing what to do with all that built-up pain and anxiety, I run into look cool. Aine, can you hear me? We're not going anywhere and I hate you. Silence. Driven by that same rage and hoping to get some kind of reaction out of him, I race into the party and begin kicking out over everything I can. What is that going to do to him? He's just ruining everybody's things. I then dash in the kitchen and start smashing dishes. At least there are things in here I can break. Cass, who had followed me, stands off to the side and watches as I trash the room. I'm sure he's hoping I'll calm down once I finish my rampage. But it isn't until I hear a familiar voice that I stop and watch as an entire shelf begins to sag. With a terrific crash, it's splitting in half and falls to the floor. Surprised to look down at my hand to see that I'm holding a dagger. I'm so startled that I almost drop it, but Vincent's hand materializes around mine. Maybe he shouldn't toss me onto the cold hard floor. Completely shocked, I just stare at him. He's standing on both legs. What are you doing here? I should be the one asking you that. I have no idea how you conjured me or how you were able to move so quickly and accurately. I can't even do it myself most of the time. Vincent awkwardly grabs a chair and drags it over broken dishes before sitting down heavily. Cass merely glances at me with reproach. But I'm too preoccupied with something much more interesting than their reactions. Your leg? Yeah, it's grown back. How's that even possible? You're still asking dumb questions like that? This isn't the first time I've ever grown limbs, and it won't be the last. He glances at me dubiously. Did you think I'd become crippled? Well, yeah. Knowing that Quansies can't be killed so easily, did you just ignore that? I thought you were exaggerating when you mentioned being able to survive having your head cut off. No! Oddly, Vincent's chuckle sounds more nervous than usual. So it didn't bother you at all that I was missing half of my limbs? No, actually, I wasn't bothering the least. You're an even bigger pervert than I thought. My mind is a wreck right now, but something inside of me continues to stir, hoping to wring some sympathy out of him. I sit down next to Vincent. When will I ever get used to this madness? Never. Vincent chuckles again while Castle remains a silent monument of stoic reproach. I don't know why, but I now feel like I had imagined the subtle connection Vincent and I shared the other night. I don't even know how to read this. The Roman numeral. There's no way I'm letting Vincent go on this mission alone. When I tell them that, Vincent just grunts and looks away, but Castle lowers his seemingly cool gaze on me and is said, "Bring warm clothes. It'll be cold. It'll just take me a minute." All I need to do is grab my backpack, which is already packed, remembering how long the guys waited for me the last time I had prepared it in advance. Once again, we walk through the door and look cool and find ourselves in another railway station. The door reads service entrance, just like the last time. Without worrying about tickets, we take an empty compartment. Alright, nice! There's 3 beds. Oh, 4 technically, if you put that one down. I help Vincent make the bed and he goes right to sleep. When the train starts to move, Cass beckons me into the hallway. Ooh! Oops, this is not what I want. It's like the Polar Express. Moving into an empty vestibule, he smoothly opens the car's door and steps out onto the ledge. What are you doing? I want to see the snow. Standing beside him, I looked up at the sky. Snow glitters in the darkness, and I stare in fascination as the falling flakes disappear into the distance. Out of the corner of my eye, I catch Cass turning to stare at me. Snowflakes have settled on his thick black lashes and brows. The sight has me momentarily entranced at the point that I don't even realize he has wrapped a warm arm around me. What is going on? Well, it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure Cass has loved us even through Vincent's route because he's always watched us from afar, right? And that's our powers causes him to love us so much, right? I can't recall the word for word that he said, but it was devastating. Because it felt like he didn't love us for us. It felt like he loved us because the powers were making... Our powers was making him fall in love with us or something like that. But this is where we are going to stop for today's episode. Because, yeah. We're getting close to the choice that made me so confused and distraught. So anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next one.